Hello to everyone from ECR 2024. Today we are joined by Antoine Jomier, the CEO of Incepto Medical, Dr. Roswitha Kremser, Country Medical Director of Affidea Switzerland, and Dr. Luis Rocha, Country Medical Director of Affidea Portugal. Welcome. Together, these pioneers have embarked on an ambitious journey, leveraging artificial intelligence to transform patient care across the borders. With Affidea and Incepto at the start of this evolution, they have been testing and implementing multiple AI solutions in multiple countries. Specifically, in Portugal, Affidea's partnership with Incepto has been ongoing for nearly 2 years. And in 2023, we saw the exciting rollout of the Incepto platform in Affidea Switzerland. So today, we are going to deep dive a bit into the outcomes of these partnerships and also the challenges that you encountered during this journey. So I will start with a question to you, Antoine. Could you share with us the vision that drove the creation of Incepto Medical and what initially attracted you to partner with Affidea in Portugal and in Switzerland? And also, how these partnerships align with Incepto's broader goals in healthcare innovation?
Thank you, Anna, for your question. Three questions in one, so I try to be straight to the point. But the reason to create Incepto, I'm passionate by the world of medical imaging. I'm an engineer. I was working in the industry, and I had friends in radiologists, customer but very close friend, who were telling me, they were 40, 45, and they were telling me, if I keep on working like I am working, I think I no longer want to do my job because there are too much information and I have too many exams to read, and I am doing it with very old-fashioned tools, too many clicks, and so I think there is an opportunity with AI solution to bring new user, very simple new tools that are making that are saving time for radiologists and helping them to get a better outcome for the patient. So that was the reason to start. What we're trying to do, what we're trying to help is with every new technology, you have the engineers who can develop the algorithm, but if you do this in the labs, that never ends up into a solution that is useful. You need to take them to the ground, integrate them in the workflow, make them well integrated to your risk, to your packs. Also have the economic discussion. What's the price for that? What's the value? What are you gaining? Is there a medical, economical case? And that's the mission of Incepto. And so as a company, as a young company, it was super natural for us to go to Affidea, because of you're the largest imaging provider in Europe, with very innovative teams, and you've been doing innovation for a long time. You've been very innovative with the dose excellence programs that you've been running, the EuroSafe. So we had a natural discussion from the creation of Incepto, and then we went to the I think your most innovative countries where we could. With a size which is big enough to matter, but small enough as a small company for us to be able to provide the service with the right level of support.
Thank you so much. Roswitha, recently in Affidea Switzerland, Affidea has implemented the Incepto platform that will give your doctors access to a portfolio of AI solutions that you are piloting under one single secured platform. Can you please tell us what does this mean for your radiologists in the country, and also a bit how many AI solutions is Affidea currently using in Switzerland?
Actually, in Switzerland, we're using 3 AI solutions, and there's a 4th coming up. Most of the centers have now. It's installed, but it's not used now. It's just on the way to be rolled out. It's Transpara AI for breast screening, Then we have a tool for measuring the long axis of the legs. That's by Incepto. And then we have another tool for dementia, MR, brain MR. And then we have perhaps another tool that's coming up. It's for the hepatic analysis. But that's future music. So I think the big advantage now, I'm mostly talking about Transpara because it's really in all centers in Affidea Switzerland, is that you may gain more confidence in your diagnostic skills. And I think the AI tool is helping mostly also for the microcalcification, where the radiologist eye is not so strong, then the IE helps us and sometimes shows us, here you have to look again. So this is really, I think we will improve our diagnostic skills, but you can't do one without another at the time being. So there are studies about Transpara. The best results are radiologists and Transpara.
And how do the radiologists feel about the use of all these AI solutions?
Some are very interested, but most of them are quite critic. I think it's always this, they're scared, it's something new coming up and they don't know what to do. And then I can talk about my personal experience because I'm working for Transpara now for 1.5 years in another context. I think for me the biggest challenge was to gain confidence in what the AI tool tells me. Because you have always to be critic to say, okay, is the value which shows up, is it really a real value or is it a bad measurement? And I think it took some time. I think for me it took 1 year to really judge what I'm accepting and what I'm not accepting. And then you never should forget this tool is also manipulating us. So when the tool shows up 90, which is quite high probability for cancer, and you don't see anything, and it's really normal about every criteria, it's normal, it's quite a challenge to say, no, Transpara failed. So I think it will be a time of transition where the urologists have to be really conscious about these questions, and they have to revisit their interior view of the exams too.
That's very interesting, and I would love to get your opinion as well, Luis, on this, because you have been working, you have been using the Incepto platform, integrating multiple AI solutions into it, right? So first, before going into your challenges, can you please tell us how this longer-term collaboration has evolved over the past years and the impact that it brought both on the patient care and also on the productivity?
Yes, well, thank you for having me here, first of all. And yes, our experience is exciting, and you start from a point where everybody is defiant of using these new tools. Radiologists, if they lose more than 3 minutes with a new asset, they tend to put it aside. So there is educational work in, listen, this is an investment to radiologists that will pay in the future. Most of the tools promise more than they'll deliver. I think it's normal in the beginning of a process like this. Mm-hmm. Some prove to be very efficient. I can say that we have two that nowadays, after 3 years, most of the radiologists will not allow to go away, which is basically VI for lung and brain, help me on this, IcoBrain for the evaluation of the volume of the hippocampus and other areas in dementia. We tried with other tools that are in development now, and I think we started with some basic premises on those tools. I'm talking about one of Keros, for example, in the knee, or ARVA to evaluation of the size of aneurysms. They didn't took off yet, but there are developments, probably with some inputs of radiologists, hopefully with inputs from radiologists, that will increase the effectiveness of those tools. I can say it's difficult to create KPIs, especially regarding the economy of time. But for example, I'm pretty sure that evaluation of lung nodules, small lung nodules, 3 millimeters, by these tools reduce a lot the tiredness of the radiologist, which in a way is an indirect measure of time, because if you are tired, you will not work more that afternoon. So tiredness, and reduces significantly, I would say 20%, 30%, the time of reading an examination in the search of nodules. And you have to understand how to integrate these tools in your practice. When is the right time to read what the tool delivers? If it is before you read the examination, if you do it at the same time, or if you do something else. If you learn how to integrate the result, the output that the tool provides in your practice, it becomes like, you know, like any tool that has human merit. You use it not thinking, it's integrated in your pathway of reasoning and so on. I think most of the radiologists now are happy to integrate new tools in their practice. We know there is a work ahead, but I think that to start as we did 3 years ago, make our frame of mind more apt to use new tools, and I'm sure this will be the future, that we will have to integrate these tools in our practice. And as sooner you start, better to your, even if you work with 5 tools and out of those 5 you start using in your practice routinely just 2, the use of the other 3 was useful, because it creates you a mental gymnastics to start using this kind of tools. Yeah.
It takes a bit of practice to get used to working with AI.
Yeah.
But could you please tell us, share from your experience, which were the most significant challenges that you encountered when integrating AI into your daily practice?
Mm-hmm.
And also how you overcome them? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the first tool we used was VI for lung, and IcoBrain for. First thing was the resistance of the radiologists, like, oh, I have to learn something, I don't know what it is, this is going to take a lot of time, I will not report on time, I have 30 examinations in my shift, how come can I use this? To convince them to give some time. And in fact, this Incepto model is great, because it's nowadays we don't feel that we have to wait for anything. You have the examination, you have the output of that the tool provides, and you can use it. But so we overcome the resistance of radiologists, I guess, already. And you know, there are tools that give you some things, others give you others. Let me try to explain. You can use tools to quantify things you are not able to quantify with eyeballing, and there are tools that identify things that you do identify if you stay more time with examination. But as soon as you are confident that the tool doesn't have false or have few false negatives, I think that companies tend to work, the companies that develop these tools tend to work on the side of the false positives for safety reasons. But as soon as you get some confidence in the tool, you understand exactly where it fits in your workflow, everything comes smoothly in your work. And I think we overcome that process. There was a resistance at the beginning. There was also the resistance years ago about the danger it represented to radiologists to use these tools. I think that most of the radiologists now understand that this will be unavoidable, and in fact this will help our work, and maybe, most probably, will reduce the most boring part of our work, so that you work properly, reasoning as a doctor, in the interpretation of the findings, in the integration of the findings with the clinical aspects, and that's the most important part. Yeah.
Thank you so much. So we have two doctors here, right, in this interview. So of course they are bringing their experience, their clinical experience, and how they see the integration of AI from a clinical point of view. Yeah, from a clinical point of view. Now, Antoine, from your perspective as a CEO of Incepto, what have been the most significant challenges in integrating AI into the clinical practice across different countries, Portugal, Switzerland, yeah? And how have you turned these challenges into opportunities for learning and growing?
Well, I think Ruiz, you expressed the challenges. The challenges is, well, first making sure the tools are working well, so they have the sufficient level of performance, both in terms of sensitivity and specificity. Then you need to make sure the tools are well integrated into the workflow, so that it's all automated with no additional user interface, because otherwise you lose the adoption. Then you have to fight in a positive way for potential budget. These are innovation budget. They need to be funded. So you need to explain the value in sometimes what you save, or it's difficult to quantify. So there is a positive perception, but how do you objectivize and how do you convince key decision makers? And then you have to be present next to the teams to support and making sure that you listen to the feedback, and there is a big mission of continuous improvement, because these tools are continuously improving. But then you need to be present to train, explain, and so in the end, you need to be committed, passionate, and patient.
Would you like to also share, please, your experience and the challenges that you encountered, Rosvita, and how you managed to overcome them?
I think with our experience, when you introduce a new AI tool to your radiologist or to your teams, what we did not write at the beginning some years ago with other tools is to clearly define a leader. Because we had our first AI tool for the brain, and then we don't really have a real lead. And then everybody was, and then the neuroradiologist said, oh yeah, but I was never asked about that. And so you really, I think the first thing when you want to integrate a new, you have to create a team and a leader around these teams for this specific tool. For instance, for prostate, you have to have radiologists to do that, and then you have one radiologist who has the lead, who gives feedback back. Then the second big challenge we had was mostly IT challenges, and to have the good hardware and to have the transmission time of the exams. As Luis said, when the radiologists have to wait 2 minutes to see the pictures coming up, it's a no-go. So we had a lot of technical things, and then we had a lot of administration issues like certificates, security, patient data, security alignment with legal things, and then Switzerland is not in Europe. So this was a special challenge, because it's not when you have something which is in Europe, created in Europe, they have Europe certificates, but then in Switzerland you have to have the Swiss certificate. So we are glad to work with Incepto, because our decision was also, then we have a platform, and when we liked to have a new tool, we come to them and said, okay, this tool might be interesting for us, and then all these kind of discussions, and with their experience about the security, the certificates, it's them who's there, who's helping us. So that's also good to have somebody with experience with all these administrative issues, because when you first do it, we are looking, okay, we have medications, but then this is another thing we have to exchange the data and everything, and we were not experienced in that, so we needed help, clearly.
It's really very interesting to see, you know, because we tend to look at how the image, you know, looks like externally, but in the background there is quite a lot of struggle.
Yeah, and then I had some comments of colleagues that said, yeah, but I don't know. Normally you should put it on the platform and then you plug in and it should work. Yeah, but
it's not that easy.
But until the plug-in, there are a lot of backstage work to do.
Yeah. Luis, where are you now? Where are you now on the journey in Portugal in terms of number of centers, exams, radiologists that are using the platform with the multiple AI solutions, and which are the next steps?
Okay, so I think we are using AI tools in most all centers. I would say 20 out of 25. All the radiologists, body radiologists, are involved with VI, and I would say that which are around 100, and around 50 neuroradiologists using IcoBrain, although mainly those that are linked to dementia and work with neurologists that work with dementia. So I would say that 10 neuroradiologists uses it in a daily basis, IcoBrain. So we have the system lubricated in the sense that from IT to radiologists, now we know what to expect in the operation and installation of this kind of tools. We try to define KPIs in the use of each tool, which is, as I said before, not an easy task, mainly in the definition of the reduction of time spending reporting. But I think the future is to objectively analyze each tool we are getting, have, which nowadays is quite easy, information through a questionnaire of all the doctors regarding what is the impact of the tools in their practice, have a dialogue with Incepto as much as possible, because I'm sure we have things to learn from each other, and go on with this, because I think I'm very happy that now, at least in Portugal, in Switzerland for sure, and it will come to other countries, we think it's a natural process to integrate new tools in our workflow.
Thank you. And one last question for the three of you. Let's begin with Antoine. Antoine, looking ahead, how do you envision the evolution of AI in healthcare, and what is the role that Incepto will play in shaping this?
So let's say three objectives. One is to increase the number of AI. So I think really we are in a position where within the next 18 months to 36 months we could bring an AI assistant for 80% of the imaging procedure of an imaging group. That doesn't mean this is going to be used, but and each tool needs to provide better quality and increase the saving time on the reading. So that's one. Second, I think the platform has a role to play for automatizing the sending the information, some of the measurement into the report, and then facilitating the access of the clinician to some of the measurements. These are all data. So once we have all this data information, we can play a role in patient care coordination, and specifically we think in the screenings, in the oncology, or in the emergency setups. So for the large screening that are in place, like mammography, but also for lungs cancer or prostate cancer screening, we think we can play a role in circulating the right information to the right people based on the patient pathway. And then potentially as a platform, there is a way also, a third step, which is extending to other specialty. We already have application for nuclear medicine, but we are evaluating potential investment in digital pathology, and then you could combine those information. So we've seen you need to be passionate, patient, but there is still a lot of work to be done ahead of us.
Yeah, and sounds very exciting. Thank you. Rosvita, from your side, how does the future of health, AI in healthcare looks like for Switzerland? And also, how does Affidea in Switzerland plans to continue driving this innovation and improve the patient care through the use of AI?
I think AI and the use of AI in imaging is diagnostic is there's no question anymore. I think it has to be the future. I think with my experience, it's also the best to combine a radiologist with AI. We are not that fully diagnostic by AI simply. But I think we're looking really forward to implement more. We have a project of liver MI AI to really quantification the liver, fatty liver or inflammation of the liver. So this is very important for the take care of all these steatosis and the overweighted patients. Then what we will like in Switzerland, we are about to create some urologically pathway and prostate pathway. So we will have to have this AI for prostate. And I think the eye of the radiologist, it's quite trained, but we have no quantification. And with an AI tool, we are able to quantify some things, and I think it's really the future, and we will adapt the introduction of new AIs to our pathways, which were coming up. But the big pathway we have actually is the breast cancer care, and that's why the most of the centers have already AI for breast. So
thank you.
We are happy to see the future.
Looking forward to it. Luis, the same question. How do you see the future of AI in healthcare, and especially in Portugal, where you have been pioneering a lot of AI solutions so far?
Well, I believe that in the future there are tools around the corner and already existent that expand or increase the scope of the availability of getting more information of the examinations. I give you an example. Emphysema, and you have a tool already for emphysema. Radiologists eyeball the emphysema and say it's mild, it's severe. Now, if you can quantify precisely, as you do already with the quantification of, let's say, iron in the liver, if you can quantify precisely the emphysema and see the evolution through time, I think, and this is just an example, all those kind of quantifications, the extraction of information from the examinations, combining the AI from the point of view of helping the radiologist, but also the AI tools that increase the quality of the images, will surely have a role. Especially in Portugal, where we have hundreds of more than 1,000 of examinations per day in teleradiology, I think that a tool that will allow us to prioritize the examinations in function of the severity of the findings would be very welcome. And it's at the same time a tool that would allow to focus on peer review and, for example, making reviewers seeing the examinations that are more complex. But all this can be, in principle, be done by AI in the future, and I am very enthusiastic about it.
I just forgot something very important. I think this quantification, the possibility of quantification like the liver diseases or emphysema, helps also the clinicians to adjust their treatment plans. And I think that's the biggest impact. With these informations we gain, we help the clinicians to adjust their treatment plans for the patients and to get them better and to make the choices between this patient really needs something urgently and the other, no, it's not so bad as it was first seen. So this is really the big gain.
And clearly, this results in better medical outcomes for the patient. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for all of you for participating in today's interview, and we look forward to seeing what the future, has to bring in terms of AI. Yeah. Thank you.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.